everybody, it's vanburman here, and welcome to... What is this? Oh yeah, Zelda, Breath of the Wild. As a young kid, I always used to get Zelda and Link mixed up. I always used to think that Zelda was the name of the guy. Yeah, no, that's really bad, isn't it? But anyway, moving on. I should also say that I've only played 2 of the Zelda games previously. The most recent one I played was Twilight Princess. That's when we got the wolf and that sort of stuff. That actually was a pretty good game. I didn't get all the way through it because it was at my cousin's. And anyway, point is, I have no problem with the Zelda games. In fact, I quite like them as an IP, in the same way that I like Resident Evil. Not that I particularly play them very often because they scare the pants off me. Anyway, so yeah, I'm playing this on the Wii U, and most of the time I've been playing it on the controller, just because it's easier. But I've got to say, everything runs pretty well, all things considered.
That will show you the way.
I had heard that the performance on the Wii U is actually pretty good, and it does show that Wii U is more than capable of playing this particular game. Whether they've had to make some adjustments to it that I'm not aware of over the Switch, I don't know, because obviously the Switch is more powerful. Don't know by how much though. And but I've had no issues at all, and I've been enjoying it for the most part so far. Roughly played, I don't know, about an hour and a half. I've not really been following the main story. I've just been running around hitting things because, you know, that's what you do in open world games. And it's been pretty okay so far. So in this video, it's only going to be the first 13-14 minutes or so of the game. So there's no real spoilers or anything. I mean, it's just the opening sequence and just learning how to do certain things, really, if I'm honest. But yeah, so I got into it hearing a couple of stuff, you know, about weapons breaking often and needing to stock up on weapons before you face bosses and such. I guess the first thing I should actually talk about is the graphics, because that's what we've just been hit with. So I really like the art style. Obviously they're not going for a realistic feeling, but a lot of the character models and stuff, you know, they're all the art fits in with itself really nicely, and I have no problem at all. I think it's a really nice and good looking game, if I'm honest. You know, a lot of people comparing this and Horizon, both open world games, you know, both come out around the same sort of time. And I mean, I suppose they're both after different audiences to an extent, I guess. This one really is tailored to, obviously, old school Zelda players, Nintendo aficionados. And it is obviously well established, whereas obviously with Horizon it's brand new, it's on the PS4, very detailed graphics, you know, totally new world and such that you're entering into, whereas with this there's some pre-established stuff already. This axe is probably like the best thing I've used so far. I think it's really cool, and before Twilight Princess I played one of the really old school ones on the Game Boy, so yeah, I was trying to get some rupees, but turns out you don't get rupees that way. There's also a bit like of a dive point there, which I discovered just off that little ridge, but I didn't do it in this video because I just wanted to hit things. So yeah, the combat is okay so far. Now, I've enjoyed it mostly. There doesn't seem to be a dodge button. I don't know if there is one, but I've not got to the point where it's given to me yet, or whether it is just using a shield, which, you know, is okay. I mean, they break as often as the swords and the bows do as well, what the melee weapons do. But you know, it's an interesting mechanic. I personally don't particularly like it. I like to have my weapons and then, you know, be able to use them. As you can see, the branch didn't really want to take down the grass, which is fair enough. And there's lots of things to pick up, and I think, yeah, I've not yet learned how to use the campfire and stuff, but I picked up a load of acorns and apples and stuff, and if you cook them, they give you more, they regenerate more health, which is, you know, makes sense, gives you a bit more preparation involved, and I guess it is sort of, in a sense, adding a few subtle survival elements in there, which I guess is, you know, the whole ethos of what they're going for with this. But personally, I've got no issues with that at all. I've heard very little about Zelda other than some overarching things. I've not even done this bit yet.
Link,
It's telling me to follow
head for the point marked on the map on
place.
Sheikah Slate.
But I didn't even bother. I've just been going around, as I say, hitting things as much as possible. So, I'm trying to remember how far we actually get in this. I think I get a bow later, so we're going to try and shoot some stuff. And I don't know how it works on the Switch because I'm not clued up on that particular hardware. But with the Wii U, when you're using the Wii control pad, you can actually tilt it to aim the bow and arrow. And in many sense, that's actually a lot easier. Like, I've been able to get some better hits, better attacks with that. So the woodcutter axe is just totally, really strong. I've been enjoying it quite a lot. Mine woodcutter axe is not broken yet. I've been using it to cut down a load of trees. But, the combat's fairly good so far. I've not had any tricky enemies, obviously. We're only very early on. But I have nearly blown myself up a couple of times because I've been experimenting with some of the exploding barrels. It's been quite a good fun, actually, to say the least. And I don't know, I suppose that's like the whole thing of the whole stuff. It's the whole thing is quite fun so far. I've not heard any, I'm sure there will be annoying, challenging bits. I mean, I've heard about there's a mountain where you've got to make sure you're wearing the right clothing and cook the right food and stuff to maintain your body temperature as you're going up the mountain, which is fair enough, but that sort of stuff's a bit laborious as well. It's down here I nearly blew myself up, actually. I threw one of those red barrels into the other barrels, and I was standing a little bit too close, and it sort of messed me up a little bit. Now here my thought process was, well, I'm going to get a barrel, and I'm obviously just going to roll it down the hill and hit him in the face. I mean, I'm sure it would actually work if I was, it's a bit of a spoiler, I guess. I'm sure it would actually work if I managed to hit them, but unfortunately, that wasn't the case, as you're about to tell. Here it goes. Go on. I remember because I pressed the wrong button. I thought it was the right trigger, but it turns out it's the right bumper. And see, I just gone down there. Didn't set off those barrels at the bottom or anything. Oh dear. Yeah. Well, there you go. I wasn't too good. So I think this time I thought, right, I'm going to get a lot closer to them and then throw it at them. So that's what we're going to do now. I was trying to see if you could run with the barrels, but obviously not. There's lots of other things like that, like there's boulders and stuff you can move and push around. You can climb up and down pretty much anything that's vertical, which does look a bit funny sometimes because you'll see him sort of climbing up and everything. There's no obvious footholds or anything, which obviously, Horizon's got marked places where you can and can't grip up of climbable areas, but it's all, I think it's very in keeping with the whole Zelda thing. That was a lovely hit, actually. Killed him in one. That's probably the best one I've done so far. You can lock onto enemies, but because I've not worked out the correct combination at this point, it didn't really go too well. So there's basically I just pick up all the clubs, all the melee weapons I can, and at one point I managed to get it to tell me it was full. I couldn't carry any more, so I was like, that's good then. I've got a good enough stock of weapons. I think I did it here. Did I do it here as well? Oh yeah, I did. I had another one where I did that same thing. I must have been standing even closer to it, but I actually managed to knock. It blew me so far back that I landed in the campfire. But anyway, the stuff that happens. I've mostly been playing it on the gamepad itself. It seems to run a little bit better. I don't know if it's because I'm doing the recording as well, which is making the main screen look a little bit slower in places, but I've had no discernible drops in frame rate or anything. Like I said, there might be a couple that are obvious in here, or that are showing up on here, but I think that's more just the recording than anything. So I decided I was going to... I need to do this again, actually. Let them shoot at me and just pick up all the arrows. I thought, go on then. I think they do actually hit me though. But yeah, the aim is not particularly good. But then I suppose they are, early enemies, and you don't want them to be killing you all the time, or they'll look really bad. So you can throw your melee weapons as well. Don't know if that's like a good tactic to do when they're almost depleted, get an extra attack out of them. And you can also do a charge attack as well. So if you hold down the attack button, you can build up an attack and go from there. Most people who play, know Zelda from previous installments will, you probably gather what you can and can't do in this. Let's pick that club back up. Come on. So I'm going to get a bow after I kill these guys. Not a particularly good one, just a branch bow. Pick it up. Oh no, my club broke. So I'm not trying to make excuses at this particular point, but the reason why I wasn't too good with the bow to start off with is because I didn't realise you could aim with the tilting on the Wii U controller. There we go. That's a good enough excuse. So I think we have a go at shooting this guy. Yeah. So there seems to be, I don't know if there's another one yet, but the three main items or combat items I found have been your melee weapon, your shield, and your bow. So yeah, I was wondering why it was moving around a little bit. I thought, why is Link doing this rubbish? And then for some reason I decided to, I don't know what button I pressed. I pressed the wrong button and realised that I placed a load of pins on the ground. I should probably just cut this bit out, to be fair. But like I say, still getting used to the game, so you'll have to excuse me with that one. Come on then. Put that away and shoot this guy in the face. Go on. You have to. The arrows do have a lot of drop on them as well, which is a little bit different to how Horizon works. Horizon arrows shoot pretty straight, pretty true. Perhaps a little bit unnaturally, some would say. Come on, in the face. There we go. Yeah. In the head is always the best way. Got a nice little sword there. I've not actually ever used that one, so. And there we go, and got a shield as well. So at this point I was fully equipped and ready to fight some nasties. But so far I've had a more than enjoyable experience of Zelda. I can't really give you any sort of, impression. Should I go out and buy it? Obviously I went out and bought a used or a pre-owned Wii U locally so that I could play it. I got it with Mario Kart 8 as well, which is a little go on that. That's alright, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you've already got a Wii U, then yeah, it's a no-brainer. Go out and get it. And if you have got a Switch, then I presume you bought this already. Whether it's worth going out and buying a whole new console to play, I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. Very few games I would say are worth it purely for that reason. Like, obviously I have a PlayStation 4, but I mainly game on computer. But I've just played Horizon, Final Fantasy 15, and what was the other one? Neo on the PS4. So for a couple of games, it's definitely more than worth it. But this one, I don't know. We'll see. But thoroughly enjoyed it so far, and as you can see, it is a beautiful game. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.